Here's a lesson on the chorus of Dakota by Stereophonics. This is a really great section or guitar solo for practicing vibrato and string bending. So vibrato is when you play a long note and you shake it a little bit like that. Now there's a couple of different ways to do this on guitar. There's a few ways actually. One of the easiest ways to start to learn how to do it is a technique called pull vibrato, which is where you pull the string down. So it's actually like a string bend. If you've ever done some string bending before, this is quite a nice way to get into vibrato. So I'm going to play the solo first of all at full speed, then I'm going to play it slower at 110 beats per minute, and then I'm going to give you a lesson on how you actually do this technique. Now here's that same chorus again, played slower at 110 beats per minute. Make sure that you can play along to this slower demonstration before you try it at full speed. It's really tempting to speed up this vibrato, but make sure that you don't do that, otherwise it really won't sound as effective as when you're playing it slowly for a while. So we're going to start off up on the 17th fret on the B string. Use your third finger for this note, 17B. Keep that finger on the string and shift it down. This is called a shift slide, and then pick 16. Your next note is also on the 16th fret, but it's on the G string, the string above it. Now to be able to get onto this string easily, you need to be pressing down the B string with your fingerprint, not your fingertip like that, like you would if you were playing a chord, for example. So flatten out your finger like that, and then you can roll your finger onto the G, onto its fingertip like that. So we're doing 17B with your fingerprint, 16B, and then 16G, rolling your finger. After that, jump down onto your 13th fret on your G string, that's to your first finger. Remember that note because we're going to be using that for the vibrato later on. Then you repeat the 4 notes. And then we're on to the vibrato. So just to recap, you're doing the same 4 notes twice, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Right, now, here we're on to the string bend or vibrato part of the chorus. So pick the 13th fret again. Notice that I've got my first finger on the string. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using something called pull vibrato, which is where you pull the string down towards the ground. The key to this though is that you don't pull it by bending your finger. This is the key to any sort of string bending. You don't actually bend your fingers. You use your wrist to do it. At least I do, and most people, which I've learned from, do it that way. So the best way to do this, you put your first finger on 13G, is to curl your first finger around the neck like that. Can you see how it's wrapped underneath the neck? I've got my hand pretty flat against the back of the neck as well, and that finger curled around like this. You should feel like you're almost holding the guitar like a bat, like that. You've got a really good grip on it. Now the reason why you do that is You need to pick the string that's ringing, and imagine that you're trying to twist your wrist. You're trying to turn your wrist like that. You're trying to turn your whole arm and your wrist around like that. If you had a glass of water like that, you were trying to tip it like that to the right. And what that does, if you keep your finger anchored underneath there and you don't bend that finger, your finger acts like a hook and it pulls the string down like that. You see how I'm pulling the string? Right, so we pick that string, we pull it down. Now this is a semitone bend or a half bend. That means that it should sound like the fret, one fret up. So it needs to sound like 14. So pull it down. See, my finger is still bent. I'm not bending it anymore like this. Okay, twisting my arm and wrist. So that's a pull bend. Release the string, and you've actually just done a bend and release, which is part of vibrato. So you need to repeat that over and over again. Right, now the key to it is that you always bend the same amount. If you start to bend more as you go along, it's going to sound like your notes just going out of tune. Like that. Or if you bend less, okay, it'll again sound like your notes out of tune. So go really slowly, bend, release, bend, release. As you speed it up, it starts to sound like this. Okay, so you're going to have to pick that string a few times when you start off because the note's going to just die out eventually. So keep picking it. Keep that part of your hand anchored underneath the neck like that. You can also use like your middle finger to kind of rest against your first finger like that, just to kind of keep that first finger in place and to keep it stiff. If you've ever broken your finger and had them strapped together, it's a little bit like that. So after that, you just repeat. And bend. Pick it again. And do the whole thing one more time. Now towards the end, you can just start to let your note fade out. Just slam your fingers on the strings and slide them down towards the bottom of the neck. It doesn't matter how you actually end this solo, as long as you stop that note and just turn it off with a slide like that down at the end.